Yo, what's going on guys? Welcome back to a brand new Division video. What I've guessed today is my new Predator's Mark build for patch 1.6. This build consists of 430,000 DPS, 380,000 toughness, and around 85,000 skill power in last stand. I've been getting a lot of comments asking me what I think about Predator's Mark, if I think it's good for 1.6, if you can still use it in 1.6. Well, my answer to you guys is yes, it is still very good. Although this build is still not my favorite, I do still think Striker is my favorite gear set. I don't know why, I just do so much damage with it and I just like it a little bit more. But this build is actually really good. Now I put this together yesterday and I was just kind of experimenting with my gear, trying to see what kind of stats I can get, what kind of, damage I can do in game. And let me tell you something, although I do not get any Striker bonuses from obviously stacking my shots in PvP, this build has the best body damage that's not even critical hit damage, just in general body damage out of any build I put together. So honestly, that kind of surprised me because I thought with Striker, my damage is going to be really high, although I do still get higher damage with Striker, once I stack my shots. With using Predator's Mark, you don't have to worry about that. Your aim could be even worse than mine, and you could still be doing a lot of damage. So what this build actually consists of is the Bullfrog or the FAMAS. You guys know this is my favorite weapon in 1.6. I might make a video on it, why I think it's a little bit better than like the Lightweight M4 or LVOAC soon. But as of right now, I'm still using the Bullfrog. What I have on it is Deadly, Unforgiving, and Uncomplicated. I might honestly reroll Deadly for Responsive, try to see how that works. And as my secondary, I am using the MP7. What it comes with is Responsive, Brutal, and Deadly, and it also has 16.5k base damage with 19.50 critical hit chance. So this is a really good side weapon I can use if I run out of ammo for the Bullfrog, or if I just have to finish someone off. If I switch to the MP7, they really stand no chance. Coming back to the Bullfrog real quick, my base damage is 19.9k, plus 2,665 from my gloves, and it also has 20% enemy armor damage. So my stats on these guns are not maxed out obviously, but they are good enough for me to kill people really quickly. Moving on to the actual gear, so what I'm rocking with is 3 Predator's Mark, 2 Striker, and Savage gloves. Now I will explain why I'm using 2 Striker in just a second. But for my chest piece, I did roll stamina with skill haste, health, and ammo capacity. You pretty much want ammo capacity all the time. For my backpack, I do have firearms and stability instead of health. The only reason why I did that is because my FAMAS actually has a ton of recoil, and this stability really helps me out. And plus, it was a max stability roll, and I did actually get a really nice firearms roll, so I didn't want to mess with that and pretty much change it. So that's why I do have stability on it. Honestly, if I find a better backpack with health and firearms, I might switch it out, but for now, this is what I'm using. Moving on to the Striker mask, what I have is enemy armor damage and firearms. For the knee pads, I did roll health and firearms. I do have a pretty nice health roll with 16,516. For the knee pads, once again, I do have health, and last but not least, for my Savage gloves, I do have health, critical hit chance, critical hit damage, and assault rifle damage. So that's pretty much for my gear. Now the reason I'm using 2 pieces of Striker is for the 20% stability increase. If you guys didn't know, Uncomplicated does not get affected if you have stability on your gear. So for example, your backpack or using the Striker. So I do get a pretty much laser beam. The FAMAS barely moves once I have this much stability on it. And my Uncomplicated talent does not get affected. So I still get the 15% weapon damage increase, which is actually really nice. And obviously, I'm using a 3 Predator's Mark for assault rifle damage, SMG damage, and reload speed. And let me tell you something, although 10% reload speed isn't that much, it does honestly help you out when you are in gunfights, like 1v1 gunfights. I noticed that I can pretty much reload my MP7 instantly, so that's really nice, and that's one thing I really like about this build is 1, I don't have to stack shots, I can just pretty much land body shots and do a ton of damage. And the second thing is reload speed. It does come in very handy, like I said. So that is my Predator's Mark build. I think the most kills I have gotten with this build in the past 2 days. Like I said, I made this build yesterday, so I haven't really tested it out that much. But for me, playing like 8-9 games of Last Stand and dropping 20 plus kills pretty much every single game, I can tell you this build is really nice. I think the most kills I have gotten is like 25 or 26. So it's still not, 30 kill gameplay or anything like that. Now moving back to the 2 pieces of Striker, to be honest, you guys don't have to use 2 pieces of Striker for stability. You could use something like Nomad, or you can use something like Sentry, or pretty much whatever you wish of 2 pieces. You don't even have to use gear sets. You could put like a Tenacious Mask and like, a Reckless chest piece or a Specialized backpack, whatever you want. But once again, I do really like having 2 pieces of Striker so I can land my shots pretty much perfectly. and not miss that many bullets far range. Last but not least, I'm going to show you guys my character stats with this build. So coming up first, the weapon damage I do get with this build is 22,516. I do have 15% critical hit chance, 83% critical hit damage, and 112% headshot damage. Now I do know my critical hit chance is pretty low, I might have to get that up really soon. But for now, I am very happy with this build, and for my survivability, my max health is 240,000. And to be honest, when I was making this build, I thought my character is going to be really squishy because my skill power is really low, so that means, you know, my skills are pretty trash, and my toughness isn't really that high either. But to be honest, from playing the 8-9 games I did play, I honestly wasn't feeling that squishy. Although I did get melted by a Deadeye build here and there sometimes, I did not feel that squishy. So like I said, this is my Predator's Mark build. To be honest, if you guys want to make this build, I would highly recommend it, especially if you don't have like crazy good aim and you get pretty annoyed with stacking shots with your striker. With this build, you don't have to worry about that. You can miss so many bullets. You are still going to be doing a lot of damage. The final thing I want to say is when I do use booster shot in Last Stand, I get around 483,000 DPS and around 412,000 toughness. But once again, this is my Predator's Mark build. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask in the comment section below. Also, if you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.